Did you believe the real estate guru when he told you that real estate is easy and all you have to do is buy a real estate and become rich? Did you believe that? Also, did you believe that it was so easy that anybody could do it and you don't have to do anything? All the money would just come in every night without doing anything, without having to learn anything. Did you believe that? Okay. Also, did you wish somebody tell you the only truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to tell you the truth. Real estate investing is hard. It's not easy. It would take time, effort to learn to become a real estate investor. It's not really easy. And I wish somebody told me this because I also wanted to believe that it was easy and anybody could do it. Okay, it is easier for me now, but when I started, it was really hard. And I want you to know the things that I learned so you're prepared. So when the problems arise, you know how to solve them. Okay, let's get to it. First of all, real estate investing is not fully passive. You hear all the time passive income, passive income, passive income, right? It's not fully passive, especially in the beginning. It is actually the opposite of passive. It's fully active. You have to learn so many things that you don't know. Nobody was like born with all this knowledge, not even Donald Trump. Everybody had to learn it. We were all little babies who didn't even know how to eat, how to go to the bathroom, how to dress ourselves. We all had to learn this stuff. What does that mean? That you can learn. If I could learn, you could learn. But let's go over some of the things about being passive and having passive income. It's good. That's the stuff that I really like the most because I was working, 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 working all the time. And I wanted my money to work as hard as I was working, not just me working for money, but also have my money working for me, right? Is that something that you're interested to? I'm sure you are. If you're watching this video, that's probably because you're interested in real estate investing, as I am. I'm very interested in real estate investing, still am. But I want you to know something. If you don't learn how to do the work yourself and how to fix things yourself, it's gonna cost you a lot more money than you think. If you want to become a really good real estate investor, my suggestion is learn how to fix things yourself. Common problems that you were normally going to have in a rental property. Why is that important? Because it will save you money. It will save you a lot of money and headaches and trouble. And you will also have the power to, when something like that happens, you know quickly how to fix it. You don't have to rely on a contractor. You don't have to coordinate with them a time to meet with them there and coordinate with your tenant, and you have to meet with their and wait for a couple of quotes, 2 or 3 quotes, and then you can compare it. That whole time you could have just fixed the problem yourself. Now that this doesn't mean that if you're not handy, then real estate investing is not for you. What it does mean is if you're not handy and you don't want to learn it, you have to be willing to pay for it. Meaning, it's better to have another source of income, a job or something, where you have enough money to pay somebody to fix the problems for you. Also, take into consideration this. If you pay somebody to fix the problems for you all the time, and that problem comes again and another problem's coming, you have to pay and pay and pay. All of a sudden, the rental income is not enough to give you cash flow. And then you start thinking this real estate investing doesn't work. It's a farce, it's a lie, it doesn't work. It works for some, it doesn't work for others. Okay, that is exactly the problem that I wanted to take care for myself. Meaning, I did not have like unlimited resources just to pay somebody to do it, and I wanted to learn how to do things. Why? Because when the time came that I had to pay somebody to fix things, and if they charged me $1,000, and the rent is only $3,000 and the mortgage is $2,000, that's already $3,000. After that, you're losing. Now, counting insurance, maintenance, utilities in case you have to pay utilities. And all the other stuff, it puts you in a hole. That means it's not profitable. That means if you have another problem, the AC goes out, and then you have to buy a new AC or repair the AC. And then what? Do you see how important it is? If you really want to become successful in real estate investing, it's important to know, to learn many things. That way you're not always relying on somebody else who has the knowledge to fix those things. Let me give you an example. Let's say you need to paint the house. Just painting the house, something simple, right? If you buy the materials at Home Depot, it costs you $300 to paint the whole house. The rollers, the paint, the stuff, to the brushes, to paint the house. Now, if you have to pay somebody else to do it for you, you should count on it costing you 10 times. 10 times. Like I got in quotes for people saying, "Oh, I'll do it for you for a very good price, $3,000." That's 10 times. 300 or 3,000, that's 10 times. Okay? If you learn how to do it yourself, then how much you save? 2,700. How many more houses can you paint? Okay, it takes you time, right? So you need to be able to have the time to be able to paint the house because it's not that easy neither. Painting the house is not that easy, but you can learn. Hey, I could learn, you can learn. Now, if you're saying, I don't want to learn how to paint, okay, you gotta be willing to pay somebody else to do it. But the problem with that is if you pay somebody else to do it, they got the money, you get the house painted, but you still don't have the skill. So when you buy another property and you have to paint another house, then you have to pay again and again and again and again. You see? Let's go into another example. Let's say the P-trap on the vanity of your bathroom is leaking. The materials cost like $40. But if you have to hire a company to do it for you, how much is it gonna cost? 10 times. $400. That's more or less what it's gonna cost. $400. Imagine if you have more houses. It's not just one, but you got more houses and you have to pay $400 and you still don't know how to fix things yourself. You see why it's important if you really want to become successful at this business to learn to do many things to solve many problems? Okay, let's jump into a little larger problem. A roof leak. A roof leak is super important. Why? Because a roof leak will damage many things inside your house. Not just the top of the roof, but also the drywall or the sheetrock, the baseboards. It will inflate them. It will cause mold issues. If it lands on electric stuff, it may create a bigger issue with electrical problems. It will get all the insulation wet. You have to replace all of that. If you don't notice it, it will damage the plywood, it will damage the roof deck, it will damage also the trusses. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Okay, that's why I wanted to learn how to fix all those things myself. You could learn it as well if you want to. But if you say, no, Carlos, I'm not handy, I don't want to do it, I don't want to touch it, okay, that doesn't mean real estate is not for you. All it means is, hey, you at least should have another income, another job or something, so you can have the money to pay for people to do this, all these things for you, because it's gonna be costly. A roof leak, $3,000 cost me materials to do a roof leak, right? To fix a roof. Now, if you have to hire a company to do it for you, they're gonna want to do a whole re-roof of the whole house. How much is that gonna be? $30,000. 30. Can you go from 3,000 to 30,000? That's 10x. That costs a lot of money. How about the AC? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you listening? Okay. Now let's if the problem never ends, because they're never gonna end. Why do I say that? Listen, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm trying to prepare you and tell you the truth that I wish somebody told me, that I had to learn on my own, that I had to learn by hard knocks. Because the moment I started paying people to do things and they were making a mess, and I started seeing that doesn't look right. I mean, I'm not a contractor, but that doesn't look right. I mean, if I learn how to do that, I know I'm not gonna make that look like that, right? So if you have to pay and pay and pay, and on top of that, you're getting crappy work, mediocre work, and you're like, I'm paying for this stuff. Hey, why don't you fix it? And then they get an attitude, and and you still have to pay, and then you get a bad job, don't have the skill, and you're out of your money, and still depending on somebody else to do it for you. What are you doing? Now, it's not a matter of if things go bad, it's a matter of when. So think about that as well. When the AC goes bad, you gotta be prepared, you gotta have a plan, at least know certain things to be able to fix things. Also, when you have a leak in the kitchen drain or in the P trap or in the shower head, how do you fix that? Things like that are common. Or when you get pests in the home, like termites or roaches, how do you take care of that? Or to save yourself from it, why don't you put it in the lease that the tenant is responsible for any pests? Meaning you deliver the house in great condition. What does that mean? They do an inspection, they check there's no roaches, no ants, no problems in the house. And you put it in the lease and give you the house free and clear of all pests. I'm only gonna be responsible for termites because the tenant, what does the tenant have to do with termites, right? But roaches, mice, and and ants and things like that, you put it on the list that they're responsible for it. Why? Because you deliver the house like that, and the roaches are attracted by food, and you're not living in the property. The tenant is living in the property, and they leave food in the floor, or they never take out the trash. Why are you gonna be responsible for that? They're the ones doing that, right? Okay, so make sure you deliver the house in very clean, great condition. That way you don't have to deal with this stuff. Okay, but anyway, but when the time comes when a tenant leaves and you have to fix the property with the whole roach infestation, how are you gonna fix that? Are you gonna call an a pest company to come and do it for you? If you do, you're always gonna be relying on them, and you're not gonna have the knowledge to fix things. Plus, you're gonna have to pay 10x. Yeah, 10 times, 10 times what it costs. Okay. What does God have to say about this stuff? Let's say, oh, I love the Bible. I think the Bible is the best book in the world. And let's see what God has to say. This is my Bible. Okay. Let's go with the Bible. Let's see what the Bible has to say. Let's go to Proverbs 22:3. The clever see trouble coming and hide. The simple go and pay the penalty. What does that mean? Wise people think ahead and anticipate the problems before they arise. Now, what does it say about the simple, meaning the opposite of the clever, meaning the stupid? The stupid go and pay the penalty. What penalty? I call it the ignorance tax. If you anticipate the problems before they happen, when they come, you're ready. You can solve them. But if you don't anticipate them and you just they're waiting for when the problem happens, and when it happens, you don't even know how to solve it, who to call, or how to solve it, then it's more expensive for you. And guess what? You're gonna have to pay multiple prices. The penalty you have to pay it all the time when that same problem happens. But if you learn how to solve it once, you can solve it twice, three times, four times, and you end up saving money over a long period of time. Now let's that's one of the God's answers in the Bible. Now let's go to Proverbs 6:6-8. Go to the ant, you lazy bones. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no chief, overseer, or ruler, yet it provides food in summer and gathers its supplies at harvest time. Okay, amazing. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go to the ant, you lazy bones. What does that mean? Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy in learning. Don't be lazy. Don't be just there waiting, doing nothing. Learn. Hey, if you got some time, learn. Read a book. watch a YouTube video, watch something that's gonna teach you about your business. Okay, go to the ant, you lazy bones. What does that mean? Go to the ant. Look at the ant. Look what they do. They it says consider his ways and be wise. It has no chief. Look at them. It has no boss telling them what to do. As a real estate investor, you are your own boss. You don't need to wait for your boss to tell you, hey, you gotta prepare for when a roof leak happens to do maintenance on your roof. You gotta prepare for a leak happens. You gotta change all the water bulbs in your property if they're leaky. Change them quickly. Don't let the water just damage all the sheetrock and the rock and the plaster in your home. Fix things quickly. And also provide food in the summer and gather its supplies in harvest time. What does that mean? The ant is thinking winter during the summer. When everything is good, it's summer, it's sunshine, it's amazing. The ant is thinking, okay, the problem that I'm gonna have in the winter is that there's not gonna be harvest time. I need to store food for when the winter comes. They're thinking, okay, when everything's going well now, I'm thinking, okay, what might go wrong in the future? I'm gonna learn how to do that. That way, when that happens, I know how to fix it. You see that? The ant diligence and thinking about winter while living in the summer is what makes it wise. And God is telling us is using a little ant, a little creation that's beneath us. We're higher than the ants. We're created in God's image. And it's telling us, look at that, do that. That means you will be wise. Okay? Now, what I tell you about always thinking about the problems that are going to arise and always be thinking about having plenty of reserves. So never go with little reserves. Always have extra reserves. Why? Because when the problem unexpected problems happen, you have the means to be able to fix them. Or if you don't know how to fix them, then you pay somebody to do it. And if you hire somebody to do it, then watch them do the work. That's how I learned in the beginning. I hire people, I hire the electrician, I hire the handyman, I hired the contractor, and I was looking at them how they did the work. Some of them didn't like you looking at them. Some of them were like, "Oh, you're behind it. They cover the work that way you don't see." And then you go this way to look, and they don't wanna cover you. They don't wanna be seen doing the work. Why? Because they know if you're inclined in learning, you're gonna learn what they do, and then you're not gonna hire them anymore. Okay, it happens, but you can choose not to hire them again. Why? You wanna pay for the work, but you also wanna learn to see how it's done. That way you wanna see how if it's done with good quality, if it's done well. That way you can learn. Okay. Okay. Think about all the possible situations where you're gonna need to know certain things. For example, if you're gonna have rental properties, you're gonna have tenants. Tenants, to me, tenants are the real goose that lays the golden eggs. Some people say it's the property, the real goose that lays the golden eggs. You need the property to have a tenant, but the tenant is the one paying you the rent. The property doesn't pay you rent. How do I know that? Do you get money from a vacant property? No. A vacant property doesn't pay you anything. So the real goose that lays the golden eggs every month is the tenant. But you need the property to be able to rent it to the tenant, right? So you gotta keep the tenant good. If the tenant has an issue and you don't resolve it, the tenant is gonna leave. It's gonna leave. Now you're gonna lose the tenant. You're gonna have a vacant property. A vacant property that's not bringing any money, meaning it's not an asset anymore. It's a liability. And what does that mean? You are the one who have to pay for all the expenses, the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, the maintenance, the upkeep, all the stuff, the utilities in case you have to cover the utilities, the cutting of the grass, the little maintenance, fixing things that break, the broken sprinklers, etc., etc. If you're the one who have to pay for that and you don't have any money, as soon when that happens, you're gonna be like, this business doesn't make any money. I don't like it. I don't like it. I thought I was gonna become rich. People told me all I have to do is buy real estate, and I become rich, and all of a sudden I'm just paying, and the job, the money that I have is going towards all this sinking hole called the property, called real estate, and all my money is going there. So this business is not good. I don't want you to go and go to that conclusion because you decided not to learn anything or do something about it. At least you know, okay, if you want to save money and have extra money from the rental to cover all your expenses and then some to pile up the reserve, then that's much better than thinking this business doesn't make any money. I'm just gonna quit. Okay, one way that you could uh, guarantee yourself from staying in this business is by learning how to do many things yourself. And you can if you want to. It's not for everybody because not everybody is interested in getting his hands dirty. For example, I have on some the properties I have septic tanks. And I know my wife doesn't want to go near the septic tanks. But when I heard from the plumber how much it was gonna charge me to change the filter in the septic tank, I'm like, how much you gonna charge me? I was like, I'm gonna have to learn how to change the filter and clean the filter in the septic tank. Why? Because if I have to pay all the time the ignorance tax and I'm not willing to learn it, I'm always gonna be reliable on that person, that company to do the service for me. And if that's the case, then I have to account for that expense as I account for the taxes, insurance, and all the stuff. And I have to know, okay, does it still gives me cash flow or negative cash flow? Are you seeing this? Okay. Now, about other stuff, like for example, getting your real estate license. If you have to rely on a realtor to buy a property, to put offers for you, and you're thinking, I'm gonna buy 100 properties. I'm into this real estate game. I'm gonna be in the real estate business forever. And you always have to rely on the realtor. Like, ah, no, I don't have the time. I don't want to learn to do this. This is not even handiwork. This is more like mental work to get your license, right? If you have to buy a property and the property, let's say, is 600,000. Let's do the board. Let's do a screen sharing and let's jump onto the board, okay? Let's do this calculation really quickly here. That way, let me let me do the calculation here. Let's do a screen sharing. Okay. I'm creating a page, a white page. Are you seeing this? Okay. Let's do this. Let's say you have a $600,000 house. It's a duplex. I like duplexes, triplex, and fourplex. Okay. Normally, in each side gets 3%. 3% for the realtor, the listing realtor, 3% for the buyer realtor. That's 6%. So 3% of that, if you get your own license, how much is that? $18,000. Now, is $18,000 worth getting your license? To me, it is. Why? Because I'm thinking multiples. I'm not thinking just one. So let's say I want to buy 100 properties. Okay, let's do a little house here. 100 of these. Oh, it's a duplex. So it's a duplex. Okay, it's a duplex. 100 duplexes. And and let's say 100 multiplied by 18,000. How much is that? That is 1,800,000. 1,800,000 dollars. Now, is that worth it? To me, it is. With that much money, I can buy a commercial property, a multi-family property. That is a lot of money. So does it make sense to get your own license? To me, it does. So you cannot accuse me, oh, Carlos, you're doing this is just because you got your own real estate license and you want people to hire you to represent them as realtor. Listen, look what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, get your own license. I mean, if you get your own license and you buy your own properties and you get the commission, it's you. All the money goes back to you and you can buy more properties. I'm doing this for you. So you know, this is the way I think. Hey, the more money I save, the more money I have to buy more properties. Let's do, for example, you get a roof leak, costs 3K, $3,000. Now, if you delegate it, if you delegate, you hire somebody to do it because you don't know how to do roof. I mean, in the beginning, I didn't know how to do roof. I do now, but in the beginning, I didn't know. It's 10 times. So how much is 10 times? $30,000. Okay, $30,000 for a brand new roof. Now, how much is $10,000? Multiply by 100 properties. If your goal is to get 100 properties, that is 3 millions. Are you seeing that? $3 million. Are you seeing that? So let's say roof and this commission. So add these two, and we're talking about almost $5 million. And this is not even counting the cash flow, the rentals that you're gonna be earning during this whole time. Now think about that. Even let's say a rental, it's $4,000, right? $4,000 a month. If you get your own license, half $2,000 goes towards the listing realtor. That if it's your own property, it could be you, and the other $2,000 is for the buyer realtor, or in this case, the renter realtor. If it's you, both of them, then the $4,000 is for you. But if it's another realtor brings you the renter, then you earn $2,000. That's much better than zero, right? Now, how much of this does the landlord make of this? How much? Zero. Why? Because that first month is share between the listing realtor and the renter realtor. But at least if you over here, if you earn both sides of the commission, $4,000 multiplied by 100, that's $400,000. Yeah, $400,000 by 100, that's $400,000. Yep. If it's half of that, then it's $200,000. You see that? So it benefits you to be able to learn how to do all this stuff because the numbers compound to your benefit. The more money you have saved, the more money you can buy another property. And if you have the knowledge to fix things yourself, that is much better because you fix it quicker, you save money, and you can buy more properties. Okay, let me stop the sharing here. Do you see what I'm seeing? Do you see what I'm telling you? This is powerful, super powerful. Only in these few examples that we did together, you could save and earn $5 million during the time of you building your real estate empire. And the more knowledge you have, the less ignorance tax you have to pay. The less ignorance tax you have to pay, the more money you have in your pocket to be able to buy more properties. And the more you're able to buy more properties, the more confidence you have in yourself to solve the problems when they come. Look, right now, when I started, I didn't know how to fix roof. I learned. How did I learn? By doing it myself. In the beginning, I didn't know how to fix a roof, but I thought, okay, I know how to paint, so I'm gonna buy like waterproof paint. And I painted the roof waterproof. It fixed the problem for a little bit, not for too long. Eventually, the sun heat and the water of the rains here in South Florida beat down my waterproof paint and damaged it. But during this, it bought me some time so I could learn how to apply roof layers. Do you see that? In the beginning, I did not know, but I learned. I got my general contractor license. In the beginning, I didn't know how to do general contracting. I didn't even know how to even cut a two by four. I never cut a two by four in my life. Now I do. But in the beginning, it was hard. It was difficult. But it was easy that I could do it. It wasn't easy that I knew how to do it before I could do it. It was hard then. But whatever is easy now can become, whatever is hard now can become easy. That's what I tell my daughters all the time. If something is hard right now, if you practice it and you repeat it over and over, eventually it becomes easy. And the easier it becomes, you can do it in your sleep. You can do it without thinking about it. It's on your subconscious mind. You just master it. You just do it without like a an effort to concentrate on it. Like tying your shoes. You tie your shoes without having to think about how do I tie my shoe. You just do it. You don't even have to look at it. You just do it. That's what it happens when you practice, 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 and learn a skill, and you practice it, and eventually becomes part of your subconscious mind. You just do it. I'm giving you all this stuff is because I wish some people told me the truth about real estate. And this is part of the truth about real estate. And I'm giving this to you because, hey, isn't this beneficial to you to learn the truth? Not just like, hey, buy real estate and you become rich. Yeah. And when the problems arise and you have to pay out of pocket, then the real estate dreams go bad and they die and you thought you were scammed. Do you want that? Or do you want to have the power to sustain your new business and your investment and to take care of them and to keep them for a long time? Had some real estate mentors. I did I did have a couple of real estate mentors, but tell me they didn't tell me all the stuff that I'm telling you right now. I wish they did, because I paid them a lot of money. But if they would have told me this, I would have been more prepared and I would have saved so much money. Also, don't let the ego get on your way. Like, for example, when I have to do construction work and I have to dress like a handyman, and you're thinking, oh, I wanted to be a real estate investor, now I'm just a handyman. That's ego speaking on your behalf. Don't let that happen to you. I'd rather look poor and be rich than be rich and look poor. Did I say that right? Yeah. I'd rather be rich and look poor than looking rich and be poor. Yeah, that's the correct way. Hey, English is my second language, but there's no excuse. Okay? Hey, as I'm learning how to do all this work, I'm also learning how to speak more simpler and straightforward. And I'm using this to be able to get better and better. And hopefully by the time I do 100 videos, my way of communicating my messages will be much clearer and much better and more to the point. I wish you this video blesses you. I hope God blesses you. I love God. I love Jesus with all my heart. He has given me so many blessings. And I wish the same for you and your family. and success in your investing endeavors. See you later.